Obviously last week, Thanksgiving week, a tough stretch for us in terms of, what we wanted to get done outcome-wise, but I think it was good from the standpoint of having a chance to learn through the film, learn more about our team. Obviously, we were challenged in different ways because we saw 3 completely different styles, and I thought that was good. So it gave us information early as to, what we've been meeting with as a staff, talking to our players about yesterday, had a good workout yesterday, showed some clips, showed some film, certainly making some adjustments to a lot of different things. When you play that level of competition like we did last week, you learn a lot. And, I thought from that standpoint it was good. Obviously, we head into tomorrow night's game and another great challenge, terrifically talented basketball team, really good offensively. I think, certainly, obviously Florida State and West Virginia were really good this past week, but I think, when I watch NC State play, it's, their scheme reminds me a little bit of Winthrop. We know how hard they work to guard. They're doing it with, a lot of times with 4 guards out there that can dribble, pass, and shoot. Dennis Smith's obviously terrific. Henderson can make shots. Maverick Rowan has been out with a concussion. He can make shots. Was a double-figure scorer last year. Abu, the kid that declared and came back, was their leading scorer and had multiple 14, I think it was, double-doubles last season. He's talented. Dorn's the kid that played at one point with Mike Thorne at Charlotte. Once again, another perimeter that can dribble, pass, and shoot. And they've just got, in my opinion, multiple guys that can hit you for 20-plus on a given night offensively. And, they can get you on the glass. They get you in transition. And, certainly Smith does a great job, as Markel Johnson does, who plays sometimes with Smith as they go small, and they tend to play smaller at times, with making plays in space. So they've got great spacing. They execute well. Obviously concerned about all those guys in pick-and-roll situations. They seem to be setting a lot more of those the last couple games. So, it's going to be a great challenge for us. There's no doubt about it. But I think our guys are looking forward to getting back on the court. They're antsy to do that. Had a really good practice yesterday and liked what I saw, certainly heading into today's workout. Questions?
John, after an 0-3 week, you say you're antsy. Do you feel like these guys feel, and you guys feel like you have something to prove?
Yeah, I hope a little bit because you have pride and you want to compete and all that. But I also think they recognize, Jim, you have to play better in certain areas. None more so important than taking care of the ball. We got to take care of the ball better. We know that. We've been saying that for some time. We've made adjustments to lineups. We've done different things. This is a little bit uncharted for us in that area. We've been among the nation's best for 8 straight years. I think, and I asked DB today, if I'm wrong, you can tell me, but close to school records over the last 3 years in taking care of the ball. That's just kind of what we do. So this is an area we've got to get cleaned up. We're 200 and something in the country right now. So to me, it starts there. And not only does that affect your offense, Jeremy, it also affects your defense. It's hard to guard live ball turnovers. It's whatever it is the other day, 44-all with 10 minutes to go. And, I'm not picking on Tracy because Tracy, he's the type of dude who takes ownership for everything. That's why I love him. But we have a couple turns that lead to 5 points that are unguardable. You can't guard those. It's a dunk. It's a 2-on-1. We just feed them. So and we know that. We've got to get that cleaned up. That puts pressure on your defense. I do think our defense, when set, is getting better. I like that. I think our offense has got to get a lot better, and starting with taking care of the ball. Yeah, for sure, Lauren. Obviously, he earned that right. Last week, the way he played in the 2 games in New York City, I think he's, ready to take kind of another step. I knew, saw it coming, and certainly believe in him. Unfortunately for him, he didn't have, as we all know, the summer, the fall. He just got thrown in there. And he's gotten himself in better shape now, where he can play extended minutes, and I think he's more ready. Obviously, the challenge for him is to do consistently what we saw him do last week in New York City.
Right now.
Well, first of all, we got to give them the ball more. So it's hard to evaluate them on that front, and I think it's got to go in there more. Secondly, I thought the rebounding the other day against Florida State, against a really good, big, athletic team, they're the second tallest team in college basketball per Ken Palm other than Syracuse. They're huge, 7'4", 7'1", and we were great on the glass. And I thought we competed on the glass later in the game, in Thursday's game. I wish we'd have done it earlier because their offensive rebound baskets that they had, West Virginia, really hurt us early in the game. We figured out how to rebound a little bit better late. But in the Florida State game, I thought it's as good as they've rebounded. I thought that was good. Defensively, they're getting better. Their defensive efficiency numbers show that. I just think offensively, we've got to get the ball to those guys more.
Why isn't it getting to them now? Is it they're not getting open?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. Jim, when you look at last week, obviously played two teams that played pressing, trapping, denial, getting into you. We've got to be able to handle that better, and regardless of that, be able to get the ball into them. So I thought the style that we played against last week was one. I think two, they've got to post and demand it more. And I think three, our guards have got to look in there more. And when they do see it, they got to deliver the ball on time, on target. So it's kind of a combination of a lot of different things. But, we got to get it in there more.
If you want to play inside out, and when you don't, is that when the offense kind of stalls out like it did against Florida State?
I don't think that certainly helps, Scott. That's part of it. But I think the ball's got to move. I thought it was too sticky, certainly in the Florida State game. I think guys are holding on to it too long. We've talked a lot about that the last day or two. We've showed them clips. I've showed them what I've wanted. And so now we'll see if action takes place.
John, what do you think went wrong against pressure? You guys were preparing for it. What do you think went wrong?
Yeah, obviously been preparing for it for some time, knowing we were playing them. It's a great question. I don't know if it's just one thing either, Jeremy, to be honest with you. I thought obviously West Virginia did a great job of, putting us in situations where we got to play basketball, and it was good for us. It was a great learning tool for us. I think our guards needed to handle it a little bit better. I think our outlets at times were good. At other times, they needed to be better. Guys got to want the ball more in those situations, be ball strong, meet passes, all those little things. But I thought it was great for us to go against that style because you don't see that a whole lot, and I thought it was good. We went against a lot of different styles last week. 4-guard lineups, big teams, long and athletic like Florida State that, pressed and denied, trapping schemes of West Virginia with size, Winthrop's, highly acclaimed and rightly so offense. I thought we saw a lot of different things last week that really tested us. And if we handle it the right way, I think it can really make us better. I thought we had a good workout yesterday. We'll see how we play today.
John, how did LeBron progress in his
I think he did well. Obviously I thought a couple times he could have made better decisions when challenging 7'4", or he'd have shot even better. I thought that he was active. I thought from not having played a game in almost, what would it be, Tup, until Monday's Winthrop game, about a year maybe, a little less than a year. I thought he had a good week. He rebounded well per minute played. He shot 50% from the field. He knows he saw his shot selection around the rim through the clips yesterday. Probably should have been a little smarter there. Thought he was aggressive. Thought he attacked. Thought he was physical. Thought he brought us energy. And I think he'll just continue to get better, obviously. The fact that he hasn't played until the last week, I think you'll see him getting more of a rhythm moving forward.
John, I'm not asking you what it is, but how much after 7 games and 2 exhibitions do you kind of learn more about what your rotations are going to be?
A lot, obviously. You're learning. And it's a little bit unique for us because, we had certain guys, and I'm not going to go through each one of them. We handled the preseason differently. Certain guys had certain days off, almost for precautionary based on what we've been through. We didn't get J. Cole till after the first week. Lucas didn't start practice or do anything until the first week. Black didn't play till Winthrop. So that synchronization, that word I've been using with you guys a lot, part of it comes through just experience of playing together, getting where you need to get. Mike Thorne's conditioning has finally started to get better. Tijon's conditioning has finally started to get better. By no means are we even close to a finished product. And, we don't like to say that. I wish we would. But it kind of is what it is, and some of the things we got to look at, hey, what can we control? What can we do to get better? And then some of it obviously takes a little bit of time. I think Thorne's starting to feel better about his conditioning now. He can play a little bit longer. Lucas, we already talked about earlier, is in much better shape, has got more reps. He's been playing. So I think we'll start. LaRon, Tup asked about LaRon, same thing. I think some of that's coming. Obviously, as a coach, we sometimes aren't real patient, and we want it now, and I certainly want it now. I'm not going to shy away. I want it to be all together now, but we've got to be aggressively patient and ask ourselves, what can we do better on a daily basis to get our team better? Obviously, for me right now, the first thing that comes to mind, I already talked to you about, is taking care of the ball. We've got to take care of the ball better. I haven't seen a lot of really good teams that are 200 and something in the country and throwing the ball away. We got to get better there. Then we'll start, then some other things that we're working on. Certainly we've addressed, but until we take care of that, our guys are smart enough to know that. Our older team, they know that. You can't shoot yourself in the foot. We've got to be better with that.
We didn't see DJ in Florida State games. That's a matchup thing, or you're looking for something for him?
To be honest with you, he played in the West Virginia game. I didn't play AJ. Thought it was maybe a better matchup for him. He didn't have one of his better games that night. Went with AJ the second day, and AJ played well. AJ was solid. He played great defensively. He's active going to the offensive glass. Thought he was really dialed in. Went 1 for 2 from 3 and did a good job. So, that one's kind of right now with that, spot in our rotation. That one's evolving and, really is going to be determined by who emerges.
Coach, you talk about not being a finished product. How do you think Kipper, I know it's a little bit away, but how do you think he's handled the waiting game? Because with the team struggling, I'm sure he wants to be out there.
Are you trying to remind me again that we're going to need synchronization then too? He's doing well. He's getting better. He's improving, and no question. Obviously, he gets added to the equation here in a few weeks, and we're excited for him. I know he's excited, obviously, to be available.
How do you think he's handled the waiting though? Is he kind of antsy, like?
I think it's hard, but he's done well. He's gotten better each day. Staff's done a great job with him. He's continued to improve. It's not easy. This is his first preseason as well because he didn't get here till the break. So he's going through it, and for the first time, both him and Lucas. And but I do think he's gotten better.
You felt that Jalen was the best defensive matchup for Keon Johnson facing another explosive point guard. Do you feel like you have more trust in Tijon in that area now?
Well, it's going to take a team effort on Dennis Smith. That's not a one-man job. He's, obviously he's terrific. Great player, can score it, can make guys better, and physically strong, athletic, explosive. That's not going to be a one-man job. That's going to have to be a team effort on Dennis Smith.
Outside of conditioning, Jalen's shooting slump, is there any reason to explain?
No, not really. I do want him to take, obviously, open shots, and I have a lot of confidence in him with that. He's had, one game where he shot it really well. Jim, I don't think he's by any means caught his stride at this point. I think, obviously, you hope it's like riding a bike, when he comes back out there, how much of it has been that, he missed a lot, obviously, as well. Another guy who missed a lot and didn't start practicing full go till after a week. I think he'll get better with it as he finds more rhythm and gets more experience playing, being that he missed as much time as he did in our summer and preseason work. But he'll be fine. I got a lot of we want him to shoot the ball, and his teammates do too.
John, you mentioned focusing on the now instead of letting a bad week, impact more weeks.
Sure.
Just how do you think they have responded to that, and how do you think this team's?
Yeah, I think obviously that they're going to feed off the staff, and they always know our approach is, hey, solutions, how do we get better? Let's take a look at this, let's learn. And then obviously you've got an older team in that locker room, and you got Abrams in there, so he's going to make sure they respond the right way. I saw that yesterday when we practiced. There was no doubt about it.
Coming off the Winthrop loss, were you at all surprised at the way the guys responded against Northwestern? Do you think maybe they'd come out with a little more fire?
Against who, I'm sorry?
Against West Virginia.
I didn't think fire was the problem. Yeah, effort was not the problem. It was execution. Questions from the phone line?
Hey, John, I think I know what your favorite memory of NC State is, but maybe you could talk a little bit more about your time there?
Meeting my wife.
Right.
That's my favorite memory. And then obviously meeting a lot of different people there through the years that we've kept relationships with. And, you know, because, you know, Allison and I met there, and, you know, now we have, you know, 3 beautiful children as a result of that. I mean, from that standpoint, it'll always be, you know, a special place for both of us because we had an opportunity to meet there. And the people I worked for, you know, Herb Sendek, or worked with, you know, Sean Miller and Larry Harris and Mark and Kenya and all those guys, you know, some of the, you know, we had some great times. So no question about it. You have a lot of favorable memories when I think about those years, 96 through 2000.
Anything else from the phone lines for Coach? Anything else in the room?
Coach, from a approach standpoint as a coaching staff, is it hard to balance normalcy versus sense of urgency, knowing you need to get some quality wins in the resume?
Can't control that, Derek. I told him that yesterday. Like, we're going to worry about one day at a time right now. There's no need for us to think about, you know, months from now or years from now, or, you know, Dustin likes to, they laughed yesterday. He likes to remind me that, you know, what was I thinking when we had Kate, and did I know I was going to be a senior citizen when she graduates from high school? And I said, no, I really hadn't thought about that because I couldn't imagine the world without her. And so I'm just going to enjoy every single day I'm with her and worry about when I'm 65 to 70, when I turn 65 to 70. So I'm not, you know, we're not, there's nothing you can do with that. That's a waste of time. I told him that. And once again, you know, the fact you got Abrams echoing that, I mean, that's more powerful than even me saying it. So, you know, that we're worried about. He had them ready yesterday. We were ready to practice. We got to be ready to go today. We made some adjustments here and there with some things. Guys are, you know, we're all on the same page. We're ready to have a great workout today and be ready to play tomorrow.
Back, you may have addressed this, but will North Carolina, do you assume North Carolina State and everybody's going to pressure the ball like crazy now off the last couple games?
You know, I think people kind of, you know, obviously they'll see that, Jim, and certainly at some point we got to answer the bell with that. You got to, you know, man up, and you got to take care of the ball. Obviously, that's been a big theme of the presser here, but I don't know. I think it'll be interesting. Some teams may, and then some teams may decide, hey, here's our character. This is how we've played for years or all season, and we're not going to change that. And then some teams may decide to change that. We can't control that. Either way, we've got to become a team that can play regardless of style. Right now, we're not there yet. That's okay. I mean, it's early. You know, there's some reasons, I think, for that. But more than anything, we're looking for solutions to play better, to take care of the ball better, to be better. And I've challenged the guys with that, and that's what we're focused on right now. Thanks, guys.